What's up, everybody, and welcome to another Seven Figure Photographer Live. I hope I don't have any of my volumes on.
You're fine.
I know, but I just realized I forgot to turn them off. Hope you guys are all doing great. Today is Tuesday. It's not a beautiful day. It sucks outside. The fishing gods hate me.
No,
And
we're still gonna go.
I really want to go fishing, guys, but the weather is beautiful one day and crappy the next. And yeah. Today, I want to talk to you guys about how nurturing past clients is a gold mine. Have you ever just had one of those moments where you realized everything you thought about somebody was wrong? That's what we're going to talk about today. But before, let's jump into the intro. What's up, guys? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam Marvin, and I have been in the photography industry for 25 plus years. While I love being a creative, business is my passion, and elevating the industry of photography is my focus. I created the Seven Figure Photographer to share my journey to seven figures and to help others find their way too.
That's amazing.
All right, I know we've probably all been there. Let me quiet this down. I know you've probably all been there, but yesterday was one of those moments where I realized everything I thought about a person was completely wrong. And I want to share some of these experiences. In fact, it wasn't even just yesterday. It kind of extends even to last Friday. I recently told you guys about a client that I had that I noticed we kind of lost touch in communication, but I knew that they had a senior coming up. And I finally just kind of jumped on Instagram and decided to reach out to them and kind of touch base and see where they were at. And of course, she was instantly came back with like, oh, my last son is going to be a senior or is already a senior. I got to get his pictures done. And we were kind of up against the gun, but we did end up getting them booked, got senior pictures done. And to my surprise, before we even started on senior pictures, she was talking about how she needed to get family pictures done. So, what a perfect example of the story that I want to share with you today. Sometimes we just don't know. Do I have something on my face? What was it?
I don't know.
Sometimes we just don't know what our customers are thinking. I think that where that really boils down is to understanding where we are and what we're doing to nurture our clients. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we jump too far into it, I want to say, everybody say hi to Mia. She's over here. Make sure that if you're watching from any one of the links to click on the Open-In app. We do have the links coming to YouTube through the app. Make sure you're subscribing. And if you have any questions, make sure to hit on the live chat so that you can comment. If you're on here hanging out with us today, make sure to say hi. I don't see Tim here yet, so maybe we should wait to start.
I know, right?
So yesterday I totally dropped the ball yesterday.
Yeah, you
I was
did.
an absolute idiot. I don't know what I did, but it's better when I do it than you do it, because when you do it,
Yes.
then I get really mad.
Yes.
Which is rightfully so. But yesterday,
No.
I had scheduled a family session with a client about 2-3 months ago. And it was really interesting because I was kind of shocked. Like, when I worked with this client, I want to say 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Let's see, 17. So yeah, that'd be 5 years ago. Was it really
wow.
that far ago? Yeah, it was that long ago. When I worked with this client, absolutely loved her personality, loved everything about her. But when her parents came in to order pictures, they were kind of a little bit standoffish about pricing. They didn't really want to spend that much on senior pictures. I think they ended up spending about $2,200 to $2,500. But it was it was a hard, and when I say hard sell, it wasn't like I had to sell them hard. It was just a hard sell to get the job done. Now, that being said, I honestly, when we were talking in 30-Day Lead Challenge about our VIP list and stuff like that, because they had just reached out to me, I had kind of moved them back onto our VIP list. But I would not have considered this client a VIP client. In fact, I probably to be brutally honest, had written that client off as they were not ever somebody that we were going to work with again. In fact, they actually hired somebody else to do their son's senior pictures. And so, yeah, rightfully so. Like, I had kind of just written this client off. But the whole point of what I want to share today is the reason I hired another photographer because I didn't do my job, or is it because they didn't like what I had to offer? And I think that really what that boils down to is me as a photographer failed to do my job to nurture my clients the way that I have, or the way that I should. I don't do a great job. In fact, this is one of the places that I fall significantly short in keeping up with my clients and what they've done. It's something I'm working at, something I'm trying to do more. But I have a tendency to have this general feeling that people really don't like. I'm not of any value to those people once they're done, or many of you guys have agreed with me on the whole feeling like clients, like once I've sold a client, like they have that negative feeling towards me because I got them to spend so much money, which I don't think is really true at all. So yesterday, well, actually, let me back up to when we actually had this client came through our escape room. And when they did the escape room, they actually left a 5-star review in the escape room. And I actually commented back, and then it created kind of like this open conversation. Now, these clients have been following me on Instagram. Like, I'm pretty sure most of the family, like dad, mom,
they were all on there.
The youngest daughter, which is going to be a senior next year, and then the daughter that I photographed 5 years ago. We're all following me on Instagram on my Samuel Martin photography page. Why I never really thought much of it, like that's a choice people make, like they choose to follow. And though she's a realtor, she, is very focused on kind of that networking. It's about time you're here, Tim.
That's exactly what I just typed.
So, and welcome, James. James was here earlier, so he gets the win on this one. But anyway, the client had gone through the escape room, left a 5-star review, and I recognized the name, and so I was like, hey, I reached out and I said, thanks for the review. I'm glad you guys got a chance to go through our escape room. And it kind of triggered a flow of events. Shortly thereafter, their daughter that we had photographed about 5 years ago reached out to me and said, hey, I would love to do family pictures for my mom for her birthday, I think is what it was. And so she scheduled them. Oops, I hit my mic. And I obliged and I said, you know what, honestly, the session is free. All you have to do is pay for pictures. So, but then I started to think, I was like, okay, well, like I know that their family kind of balked at pricing the first time, but they know what they spent that time. So she's got to be well aware that family pictures are not going to be really any cheaper. And then I started to think, okay, well, if she's setting this up, is she paying for this, or is she going to say, congratulations, Mom, you got a free family session, but you got to buy the pictures? And that's kind of like, that's one of those that like I always wonder about, like, how are they going to respond to that? Yesterday, I'll tell you the bad part of the story. She shows up. We had scheduled the session, and then her dad had to go in for surgery, and so we pushed it out a month. Somehow, I put it on the calendar for today. She shows up yesterday. While I had run to the gas station across the street, she shows up, and she's like, I'm here for my hair and makeup. And Mia was like, oh, shit.
That's about how that went.
And so I was like, just tell her to hold on. I'll be over there. We worked things out. It was windy as crap outside. And so I was like, there's no way we're going to do family pictures today. But I was kind of like, okay, they're a busy family. If I don't figure out how to make this work today, like it might push it out for another month or long time. It might leave a bad taste in their mouth. And so we called in all of our resources. We made it happen yesterday. We had the time to make it happen. And we got it done. And honestly, like I picked a spot that I thought we could avoid the wind. It turned out beautiful. The images were absolutely beautiful. They're a beautiful family. But what came of it really shocked me. And I came away yesterday like feeling like I had 2 new really solid leads from people that I'd already worked with, obviously. Yep. But here's what I missed by not nurturing that client, regardless of how I felt I had done with them. As we were walking back from the first location that we had photographed, Mom says to me, hey, would you be interested? And she was kind of like, I know you're busy, so you probably are going to say no, but would you be interested in doing these photos for a community, or for their customer appreciation
Community
event?
Yeah.
And she's like, it's like 400 families, and you do family pictures for all 400 of them, but they just step in. It's like a step and repeat. And I was like, yeah, I'd be up for that. And she's like, I normally pay $10,000 for it. And I was like,
Yep.
what? I was like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. Like, that's easy to set up. I can set up 2 stations, bump them out, like, no big deal. So right there, that's like $10,000 I've missed
Per year?
per year for how
4
many years?
years?
She said that she's done this for
Oh, wow.
quite a while now. Then she brings up, she's like, oh, and also, I know this is probably not one that you would want to do because, like, it's just like, she even said, because I'm above doing certain things. And I was like, you're right, I am. Like, I'm above going to the dollar store most of the time. Tell Lindsay Adler tells us it's a great place to get
Props.
props or light gobos. So anyway, she says, I'm sure you're probably above this one, but we also do a customer appreciation event in December for our like Santa and me thing. And I was like, okay. And I think she said that she typically pays a photographer.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought it was about the same, wasn't it?
yeah, I thought it was about the same too. So there's another opportunity that I've been missing out on because I just was like,
And then she added more to it.
and then she added more to it. She said also, like, would you be interested in doing some lifestyle family, or not family, but lifestyle business or more or less brand? Why do I
Personal
always
branding.
have personal branding for us for the Parade of Homes? And I was like, these are all like amazing marketing opportunities or lead generating opportunities. First of all, the families. I asked her, I was like, okay, so $10,000 for it. That's fine and dandy. Like, I'll spend a day for $10,000.
No problem.
No problem on a Saturday. But then I said, the one question I have and the one caveat is, do I get all the information of all the clients? And she said, absolutely. We want it to be a cross promotion opportunity. We want them to be able to buy additional pictures from you. Okay, that's great. 400 leads, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even if it was just part of it and we got 200 leads out of it, that's 200 leads. That's excellent, right? Then same thing for the other one. And then also for this, for the brand
Personal branding.
personal branding, I actually asked her daughter, because her daughter works for her. I said, how much does she normally pay for the personal branding? She's like, I think she spent $2,000 to $3,000 on herself.
Yeah, and she has team members that do it.
And then she has like 4 teams that do it all on the same day. They basically go to the Parade of Homes, one of the builders, and say, hey, can we use one of the houses that's all staged for our personal branding pictures? And then we just need a photographer to come in and do it. I was like, absolutely. Like, why not? So I'm just like sitting here thinking last night, I'm like, what the hell have I missed out on? Like, why am I such an idiot and I have not taken the time to nurture clients regardless of what I think?
Yeah.
Because this has happened on too many occasions where I find out that clients are like still raving fans. Like, I found out that Dad was actually the one that had the idea of hiring us for the family pictures, which I was shocked about in the first place. Like, I was shocked that they called me for family pictures. I was that like far removed from them. The amount of information that we got just hanging out with our old senior,
That was fun.
like, was really powerful information, just understanding some insights and some knowledge. Like, that, guys, that stuff, like, she felt really bad. She was like, she kept saying, I'm sorry I'm wasting your time. I'm sorry I'm here. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the stuff I love, the research that I love to find out about, like, who my people are, what they've done, where they're going, what they're doing. And actually, I was kind of surprised because she was like, would I be able to convince you to do my wedding picture someday? And I was like, yeah, I hate weddings, but I would do it for one of my past seniors. And I was like, I'll just warn you, like, I won't do it for less than $5,000 because I hate weddings. She's like, no big deal. I've been planning, like, she's like,
I got
one
this.
of the things that I've always planned was, like, no matter what, someday when I get married, Sam's doing my pictures. Guys, how did I miss this so blatantly? Like, and
Not
how
to
many?
mention the younger sister.
How many? I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Oh, okay.
How many other people have I done this to? How many other people have you done this too, because I know that many of you guys have the same experience, the same feelings about your clients. Like, we have these preconceived notions. I know that I have one of my biggest senior sales ever. Like, we planned out this whole wall for them, and I still have not called her back because, like, I just have my own feelings about it.
Get over it.
Like, I know, and I got to get over it. So, we're going to add more to it. I found out that her youngest sister is going to be a senior next year, so she kind of makes up the perfect opportunity for our influencer program, which has been a tough go this year. She was absolutely beautiful when we were photographing her last night. And it was really funny because one of my seniors, my current seniors, set me up perfectly for this. We come to find out that her passion is shoes. And she was like, her mom was like, tell them about the brand new pair of shoes that you got that you just spent $1,500 on. And I was like, instantly, I was like, are they the Off-White Air Jordans? And she's like, yes. Like, she was shocked that I knew. And the only reason I even knew that was because Lauren had ordered a pair of them on her mom's credit card and hadn't told. I wonder how that worked out.
I don't know if she's ever told her.
But what was cool about this girl is she had actually taken her shoe collection and she was using a trading block or something like that. Yeah. And so she actually traded in a couple of pairs and then only ended up paying $300 out of pocket for these $1,500 shoes. And then she also has pictures. And so, of course, last night I kind of, her whole family was like, she's going to be a really hard sale. But I think that we actually... We worked through that one easy. Yeah. And I think she was almost like, I'm like going to do this just because you guys are claiming that. And so last night on Instagram, I sent her a quick message. I sent her the picture of my shoes that I had hand painted and said, hey, I'm jealous. Like, you showed Mia the picture of your shoe wall, but I never got to see, will you send me a picture of it? And she sent it to me, and it's really freaking cool.
It's amazing, right?
Like, she's got this mirror that's all outlined in LED, and then she's got these shoes like beautifully displayed on her wall. So anyway, guys, the point is, and what I wanted to share with you is, don't miss out. Don't be an idiot like I am. Because let me tell you, the thought that I've missed out on $30,000 a year of business from one client because she clearly values photography at this point. Like, she's made it. And now, mind you, their family has come a long way. Her mom had just started her real estate career, I think, when we first started working with her, but now she's like a top producer. So they're making a whole lot more money than they ever were. Dad is in a top position for a local airline here. Well, not a local, but one of the airlines here. They're doing well. And though at that point in time, they may have had a little less money and a little less opportunity to buy pictures. Maybe I just missed the mark on what the message was. But had I been nurturing that client and letting them know that I'm available for their needs and that I'm here and ready to work, there's a lot of opportunity that I think that I've missed. And so, $30,000 a year would be a nice boost. I wouldn't complain about it. I mean, one of my top clients that I do communicate with pretty well, she spends a good bit on a regular basis, and sometimes it's more like $20,000 over the course of 2 years, but or 2 to 3 years. But it's family pictures, it's all these things, and so obviously, if she's keeping up with these things and they're important to her, and she's already spending the money, which she's already spending more money than I probably would have charged for those things, so I'm perfectly fine jumping in and taking that opportunity. So.
Well, I loved that she said that she wanted like one photographer who could do it all, because that was one of her things. She wanted to simplify her stuff, and she trusted you with that. And I think that was a really beautiful thing.
And sadly, the thing is that she just thought that I was too busy. Which, yes, I'm very busy, but I make time to make money. Right. I'm never too busy to make money.
And just reiterating, you make time for your top clients. And
yes, absolutely. And so
she doesn't feel
and it's like there was never anything that I didn't like them or anything like that. It was just purely I read and maybe I didn't really read the situation wrong, but I chose to not like
Nurture it.
And honestly, like, it's not even that. It's what I'm realizing here is that I have failed at nurturing my clients overall. I've been a failure at that. Like, and how many of us do this where we create an amazing experience, but then we drop them off at the end. It's like dropping the kids off at the corner and making sure they get home and never calling to make sure they got home, kind of thing. Like, it's in business, it's like you drop them off. And one of the things we've talked about is even just reaching out to clients and saying, hey, how have your products held up? You know, Dad was talking about how he has her album sitting on his desk at work.
Yeah.
Like, and that's really cool. And they were a really cute, tight-knit family.
Yeah.
James just raised his hand. He has
Maybe
a little
he has
emoji raising
something to
his
say.
hand. Maybe or he's saying, yes, I'd like to make $30,000 a year. So anyway, guys, let that be a lesson to you. That was my expensive lesson. If we took $30,000 a year over even 3 years, that's $90,000 that I've lost or missed out on. That's a huge, huge chunk of money that, what could you do with $90,000?
You could afford a Mia. 3 years in a row.
Yes, I can afford a Mia for 3 years. There you go. So that's something to keep in mind, guys. Think about that. Think about, he often drops people off at the end. And I think that we're missing out because I don't know why, but this year has really been an eye-opener for me seeing and recognizing that people spend ungodly amounts of money on things that are just things that they've learned to value. And I've seen people learn to value things more just based on relationship and just based on experiences. And so you can be that relationship, you can be that experience for people, you can create. And I've noticed that, like, I have some clients that have come in and spent, like the other day with the Bottleys, and I say their name because I'm not concerned about it or anything,
Right.
but the other day with them, they had come in and they were talking about, like, she had straight up told me, she's like, let's not worry about the video because honestly, I don't need it this time. And they came in and talked, and Dad was like, what video? Like, I've never.
So sad.
Like, she comes in and she doesn't really even question. She's just like, what do I owe you? Like, she pays it. And, and Dad was like, what video? I've never. And so I pull up all these videos and she's like, oh my gosh, I forgot about those. And then all of a sudden they became important to her again. And I was like, you can't do this for 3 of your 4 kids and then the last one not be. And that was like one of her things. She was like, had the fear of missing out. She's like, oh man, like, I don't want him in 20 years being like, why didn't you do this for me, but you did it for all the other kids? And like, it was a reminder to me that, like, some of these things are just like, and that was actually one of the things that Abby said yesterday. She was like, why don't you make your videos more of one of those things? And it's hard because it's been such a, like, it's such a private thing that, like, I've never really wanted to put it up online. And so,
but we could probably ask a few of the people.
yeah, there's a few, and we've shared it with a couple. In fact, I shared it a couple of years ago because we had one, like, last year, I think, where it was just like
the Dimmings.
Yeah, it was the Dimmings, and it was just perfect. And I shared that, and it got a lot of, retire from the day job. James
for
says
the 30,000. Yeah.
Oh, he'd retire for the.
Yeah.
So, oh no, I think he's saying, what would you do for $90,000?
Right.
He'd retire from the day job.
Right.
So, guys, again, this is my experience that cost me a lot of money, and I'm telling you, learn from my mistakes. Nurture your clients. I know one of the things I was supposed to do yesterday was write thank you notes.
I know.
Thank you cards.
I figured I have to pull them out now and remember.
Yeah, and so and that was one of the things. I was like, I just wanted to write thank you cards for my clients that we had photographed last week. We have more this week, and that's just like, those are things that we can do to just create more of those amazing experiences where people just feel like, wow, they really care. They really love working with us, and that's where I want to give my money, or that's where I want to spend my time, my money, because we have quite a few of those clients that are really loyal to us, but like, sometimes you forget that they're that loyal. Like, just like with the one from last week, like, I kind of forgot she was as loyal as she is, and I wasn't sure because they had just gone through a couple of weddings and they didn't hire us for the wedding pictures, which was fine. They never even asked me and I really didn't want to, but and I think it's just because they knew that that was not something that I wanted to do. But it still was enough to cause like question in my mind because they'd worked with a couple other photographers over the last couple of years, and I hadn't seen them, hadn't talked to them, which was my own fault because I hadn't reached out to them, hadn't really kind of kindled that relationship. But that's something that I think is vitally important. What? Oh, you're just looking through the holes at me?
Yeah.
Mia has this little spot where she can peek through at me. But then when I see her eyes, you can see her right now peeking through.
I am.
She's all creeping. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. And I think that it's a lot more powerful than you might think. Like, it's blowing my mind today, just a little yesterday and today thinking about it. And the opportunities that I've missed out on just because I'm being stupid. Like, there's no other, it's 100% my fault. And so I'm like, okay, I really need to go through that VIP list of mine.
We need to put it up. We need to make like a calendar that is just our VIP list so that we can have them in front of our face.
You know what we need? We need a way that the TV can display like some of our favorite Google Sheets.
Yeah.
So it like just clicks through like our scorecard and all those different things. That's like the one thing that I really want. Well, yeah, it's a slideshow, but I want it to show updated data, like graphs and stuff like that.
Okay,
and
you
VIP
work on that.
lists. I will have to work on that. So
in the meantime, I'll get a poster board.
Okay, you draw on the poster. We do have this really big
whiteboard
that we don't use anymore.
Use it sometime.
Well,
anyway, we'll figure it out.
Okay, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope it was beneficial. I hope you learned something from it, from my mistakes, and go out and find the clients that have been good clients and reach out to them, nurture them, show them that you love them and you care about them, and let's hear some good experiences from that because I obviously just got kicked in the teeth with it last night. So, hasta la vista, baby.